Total solutions for any mix, any volume. All managed by Panasim Enterprise Edition. Panasonic. Total solutions beyond SMT.
Welcome to the Apex Factory Automation booth here at IPC Apex. I'm joined by Will Christ, of course. Nice to see you again, Will.
Thank you so much, Trevor. I appreciate it.
So, a couple of new products on the booth here, some existing lines that have been updated. Let's start with your printers, which are the SJ Initech printers from Korea.
That's correct. The SJ Initech stencil printer is out of Korea. It was founded in the mid-90s. They started producing conveyors and then got into printers, and they really are now catapulted to the top of the SMT printer business worldwide. Two main reasons they have done that is one is a long list of technical innovations they have that some of our competitors do not, and the other item is the all the standard items that come standard with this that now our global competitors all have optional. The other item that has really captured everyone's imagination and is now fairly mature technology for us is the printer with a onboard 3D SPI with reactive feedback.
Right. Yeah, and that really is interesting because it is feeding back and correcting a number of different parameters on the printer itself. Some of the systems that are currently the new ones that have just come into the market are only changing XY offsets, but you do a number of others. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, it basically will do the X, the Y, the theta, height, volume. It will actually engage the under stencil cleaner and adjust the stencil pressure, or excuse me, squeegee pressure on the fly as well. So it's very dramatic. The application data that our customers are able to glean from that and impact their print process while that one is printing, because it's a completely parallel process. No one has seen anything like it, and it's having really dramatic impact on factory floors.
Right. Yeah, I think that's important. It is a parallel process, so it's inspecting one board while the other board's printing. What's the cycle time, the average cycle time on each?
Well, that's the nice part about it is your full board inspection on a full-size PCB is about 7 or 8 seconds, and your print time on a full-size PCB is 14 to 15 seconds. So there's no bottleneck created.
And maximum board size on this?
This particular one is 520 millimeters by 450 millimeters.
That's fine. That's great. Good. And as we saw in an earlier visit this morning, you also have some very large printers for the LED business.
That's correct. The LED business has been going gangbusters in Asia for a few years now, but it's really starting to take off in the Americas. And so basically SJ Initech has got, again, mature technology at 1.2 meter board, 48 inches, and it's done extremely well. And all the standard items that are standard on these basic printers also come standard with that. The technical innovations are all the same, like the closed loop feedback on the load cell, etc. And so it's been fantastic. The other innovation that they've done on that is the squeegee moves on the X direction rather than the Y. So it's been very effective.
So moving up the line, you've got a new X-ray system, again Korean, which most of your equipment is. Can you explain a little bit about this project?
Yes, I certainly can. This is Zavas Corporation. They're the #1 X-ray company in Korea. They have their X-ray is in Hyundai and Samsung factories throughout Korea, so they're a very well-known brand there, but they are brand new over here. So basically how we've positioned that particular brand is one is 2D, and that's about $125,000 with a 3D CT option that will do a 50 millimeter by 50 millimeter part.
Now, fairly small.
That's correct. It would either be a small part or destructive. Now the big brother to that is the H130 and the H160. That will do a full CT 3D CT on a 500 millimeter by 500 millimeter PCB.
So, and it's using what, Matsu tubes and this sort of thing?
That's correct, Matsu tubes, and they have their own VX3D software.
And differing power levels that you can apply to it. Differing power levels, I believe, that you can apply.
Yes, exactly right. 100 kV, 130 kV, and up to 160 kV.
Right. So, moving to the end of this line here, we're seeing the Mirai taking place, which The old faithful, I was going to say, you've had that for a while. What has been happening with Murray, and what unique changes have been coming into that product?
Right, as we mentioned, Murray is Old Faithful. They really, in their segment, which is really their strength, the single lane, single gantry production. They have the linear motors, which no one in that price point has. They have the electronic intelligent feeders, which we offer at a price point of standard pricing no one else offers. And the software, I think, is really the strongest part of it. It's extremely user-friendly, which some of our competitors are not. And then it also offers NPI, new product introduction software, which is also standard, which a lot of competitors either don't offer that type of options, or they are much more expensive. So in that capacity, the Murray is really does extremely well. Then we match up extremely well against our competitors. What Murray, a large part of their research and development is going into now is odd form and large part insertion. So they have got a brand new division. They started a few years ago, and it's kind of taken off, and they're really starting to gain market share at some tier 1 facilities in Asia, and they're doing it a little bit differently and a little bit better than some of the market leaders in that segment. And so that has really started to take off for them, and we have high hopes for that, particularly in the Mexico market.
So how are they doing it differently?
Well, they some of that is trade secrets, Trevor. I can't share all that with you, but they basically are custom making the feeders and the part component trays to allow a little more efficient process, and then the testing itself of how the insertion is in there, the depth of it, and the sensors are an improvement on current market conditions.
Okay. So it's testing the connectivity of the pin insertion.
That's exactly right.
Well, Will, thank you very much for giving us a run through on the latest stuff here on the Apex booth. You're always coming out with new things, so I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you so much, Trevor. It's always a pleasure seeing you.